Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It is your boy, Suki Steele, back at it again with another video. No one asked for this. No one will ever ask for a video like this. But to all the people I texted and asked if this would be a good idea, I made it anyway, so sorry guys. Since you've already seen the title of this video, you know it's gonna be a little bit gross. It's also something that's very near and dear to my heart. But I do think I should be very upfront about the fact that it's about poop. Or more specifically, my very long, very detailed history with poo. Now, I know what you're thinking. Suki, is that cat hair all over your jumper? And yes, it is, but also, shut up. I was potty trained. Don't know what to tell you. I did my time in diapers, but for some reason I had some kind of mental block when it came to poo. I think I thought if I just ignored it long enough, it would just go away, and spoiler alert, it didn't, and it made life so much worse for me, and so much worse for everyone that knew me. I remember counting back when I was younger from the last time I pooed, and thinking it had been 6 weeks. 6 weeks? Like, young Suki, do you realize that if you had not pooed in 6 weeks, you'd be dead? So without further ado, let's shame my entire family and friends and general public, everyone that knows me, and everyone that ever will know me, by sharing a few of my run-ins with the runs. It's so funny today. The first one is actually a bit of a flex, not at all. I was on holidays and I was in the jacuzzi, which I was about 5, so first of all, great parenting, mom and dad. You know what, I'm gonna blame this entire story on you guys. Why the hell was a 5-year-old in the jacuzzi? Just so happened that I needed to go, but I didn't want to get out of the jacuzzi because the jacuzzi was very warm. I think you can see my conundrum here. It's not the craziest idea to stay in there. This is exactly why they don't let kids in jacuzzis. My mom looked over and I was making that little kid face like the... And she was like,
"No, Suki, get out. Oh, no, we're not doing this here. Come on, get out. Get out."
And I refused to, and it happened. And it was floating, and my mom tried to my mom had to go in and she tried to cup the bowel movement. She got it all in her hand, and then she tried to get out of the jacuzzi. But it's like a big step, and without your hands, it's kind of a hard job to get out. As my mom was getting out, or trying to get out, and I was no help because I wasn't getting out of this jacuzzi. I'd already done the thing I needed to do. Now I could stay there. Apparently, and now my mom's an over-exaggerator, so you never know if this actually happened. Sorry, Mom. Louis Hamilton?
Lewis
was getting into the jacuzzi, and he offered her a hand to get out like any other normal person, but my mom's hands were very full. He just kind of grabbed her arm to help her out, and there was like brown bits coming down into her elbows, and I stayed in the jacuzzi and then they had to close the jacuzzi. I'm so sorry, Mom. I don't know what my problem was. I chalk it up to bad parenting, you know? You did it to yourself. But yeah, that's one of the times I saw a celebrity. So I had a few problems. I had a few accidents when I was younger. It got to a point where I was very scared my parents were gonna put me back into diapers, and I was about 7, so that would have been pretty embarrassing. I would hide the evidence of my problem behind my wardrobe. And for, I'd say, a year, they stayed there. I don't know how my room didn't smell. I shared a room with my poor sister. And we got our room done up because we were gonna get stylish bunk beds in. When the builders were putting in the bunk beds, they had to move my wardrobe, and I wasn't there for this. But I do remember being in trouble for it because my mom, when I came home from school, was like, "Suki, they moved the wardrobe and a mountain of underwear fell out, and the builders, one of the builders retched. I don't know, I think that's so funny. I was the worst. What was wrong with me?" Anyways, I got in so much trouble. Around that same time, our toilets were blocked and the plumber came and he just found a pair of underwear in the pipes, which means I must have flushed them. I don't remember doing that, but like, It sounds like me hiding my shame. One time I told my mom I had swallowed a pinhead. They were giving away like these little love heart pins for cancer research or something, and I swallowed the love heart and thought I was gonna die because I was like 6. But my mom got it twisted in her head that I'd swallowed a pin, so immediately rushed me to the hospital and I got an x-ray and they were like, nah, your kid's not... That's so funny because I can remember being on the x-ray thing and all of the doctors being like,
We don't see a pin, but...
Do you know she's like severely constipated?
My mom's an artist. And I used to hang out in her studio a lot when I was a kid because she had the studio in the house. She left me unsupervised there. Great parenting again, Mom. You're really doing it in these stories. I don't remember this either. Apparently, my mom looked over and I had a mouthful of red, and she had thought I like ate glass or something, so it looked like I was bleeding, but I'd actually just swallowed red paint. I was fine. I didn't get sick. Nothing bad happened to me. But I went to the toilet the next day. I had pink poo. And if you know anything about me, my all-time favorite color is pink. Like pink for the win. Pink is my favorite thing in the world. That was the most I'd ever gone to the bathroom in a whole week. I just kept going because I loved that my poo was pink. I even brought a friend home from school and I was like, look. No wonder I have no friends. What the fuck was wrong with me? My mom says I cried whenever it turned brown again. Put an F in the chat for my pink poos. I used to do gymnastics. One time I was at practice and I was doing a floor routine and just happened. I just pooed. And I was like mid-tumble, stood up, did my, and she did a poo, she let one out. I don't think anyone noticed except for my minder who, God, my poor minder. Jesus, she had to deal with a lot of my poo issues. Why did no one punch me as a kid? I want to go back in time and punch me as a kid. So listen, I have this tree in my back garden. I always wanted to jump off of it. It was like some big thing. I spent years psyching myself up to jump off this tree. I can't even deal. I jumped off of it eventually a few times over my childhood, but when I was about 20, I actually jumped off the tree. 20 years old. Guys, this tree, it's like 5 foot. I don't really get why I was so scared to jump off of it.
Are you actually serious? You're 20 years old, you're up a tree and you have to have a countdown to jump. 5, 4, 3. It only took 20 minutes.
Anyways, this tree, I pooed out of it. I spent so much time sitting in that tree thinking about jumping off that I really needed to go, and I crapped out of it. Turns out another family member actually crapped out of a tree next to this tree. High five to that person. Mom and Dad, you might want to really think long and hard about what kind of kids you've raised. When I was a kid, I used to share baths with a friend of mine. We'll call her Red. We were in the bath together and I pooed. I pooed in the bath with a friend in it. You know, it wasn't just poo that got me though. I was in the car on the way back from seeing the Pussycat Dolls, which was the highlight of my life when I was 8. And I had a friend with me and she wet herself on the way home in my dad's car. And I thought she was so cool that I wet myself too. The thing about my friend is, my dad pulled over and she managed to get out of the car before wetting herself. I sat in the back of the car and I was like, me too, I guess. And my poor dad. Oh, that's so funny. That isn't the only time I wet myself in a car. Oh my God, when I was 12, we were coming back from like an entrance exam for the school that I was going to with my friend. We'll call her Nia. We were in the back of her car and her mom was sitting next to me and her little sister was sitting next to me and she was in the front and her dad was in the driver's seat. He was making me laugh a lot and he knew I needed to go to the bathroom, so you know what? It's his fault. He kept making me laugh, so I wet myself like any rational person would. Nia's mom did not believe that I had wet myself until she felt it. Fuck, I'm so sorry. If you watch this video, I'm so fucking sorry. I know I was the worst. Why did you hang out with me? Probably because you were forced to. Was it because our parents were friends? I feel like it was because our parents were friends. This one's not so gross. One time I turned on the heated seats in my dad's car with my friend, we'll call her Annie. She didn't know the heated seats were on, so she spent the entire car ride thinking she'd wet herself. And I thought that was so funny. I thought that was the peak of comedy. I would turn on the car seats every single time she was in the car. I'm so sorry. You know what? No wonder I have no friends. That's kind of the worst. And finally, last story. I was in the car with my mom and her sister, and we were driving to Dublin probably. We spent a lot of time in the car. I think you're sensing a theme here. And all of a sudden I needed to go, and oh my god, this poo, she was a fighter. So I kind of just looked at my aunt and she looked at me, and I started like, until I was sitting on top of her and crying and like making that face, and my mom was frantically driving while trying to find somewhere to pull over so I could go to the bathroom. My mom and my aunt had to carry me into this hotel so I could finish the deed. So there's a few of the many times I was the worst possible version of myself. So if you stayed watching to this point, congratulations. What was that like? It also means we're acquaintances, so you may as well like the video to become friends, and you may as well subscribe to become best friends. I promise I'm never ever gonna do a video like this again, so you don't have to worry about that. So you should subscribe anyway. Let me know if you ever shit yourself or peed in your friend's car. Smash like and subscribe if you ever did that. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was the dumbest video ever. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Some people think it's funny, but it's really hot and runny. Diarrhea, diarrhea,
Go.
I'm just gonna climb down.
20 minutes. 20, no, you're jumping. You're actually jumping.